Now, it looks like a lot of Australian tourism is going towards Europe, and you would expect it, wouldn't you? Especially if you're of Maltese background or of European background, you're going to choose to go to Europe. Now, this is a family with a difference. They go to Europe because they do have their roots in Europe, but they have done something really special, and it's called the Camino de Santiago de Compostela.
Our church, our local church, is St. James the Apostle, and we got the idea researching St. James. And this walk is all about going to the tomb of St. James, which is in Santiago.
Because it is actually known as the Walk of St. James or something like that?
Yes, the way.
The Way of St. James.
Yes, it's a very old walk, you know, I think over 1,000 years ago. Even St. Francis of Assisi did the walk. Some people start from Saint-Jean, which is in France, and then I think it's about 800 and something kilometres to Santiago. You walk across the top of Spain through the Pyrenees. But then we heard people walking from Germany, from Switzerland, from all over Europe. So we felt, you know, like real beginners when we did it.
You mentioned the Pyrenees. That means that the trek or the walk is quite strenuous.
When we did it, we experienced quite a big blizzard storm, but that made it really exciting, and we're glad we did it that way.
Did you know that you would come across this kind of weather?
No. We weren't really sure what to expect. You can read articles on the internet, you can talk to people, but you've really got no idea what you're in for. In our case, we arrived at Saint-Jean, which is on the border of France and Spain, and there was a building where it had people, volunteers who registered everyone. And I think you paid about €2 to register, and they give you a booklet, which is
this?
No, another
one.
Okay. Passport.
The passport.
A passport. You know, you get a stamp every night wherever you stay, whether you're in a monastery or whether you're in an albergue or even a hotel. You can take this booklet, and then they put their stamp on it once they know that you're a pilgrim. And they know by the passport that you are a pilgrim, and also by your shell that you carry. So
this is the shell. So you're given a shell to carry. Do you choose the shell, or you're just given the shell?
You choose it, actually.
You choose it?
Yes.
So that gives it more of significance, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this represents you being a pilgrim.
That's right.
That's right,
You put
yes.
it on the back of your backpack, so when you're walking, it's actually quite nice to see all the pilgrims there with their backpacks and the shell, and also other locals, you know, they can see and they'll wave, or if they see you going the wrong way, they'll sort of give you the right
Point you.
How
long did the walk last for?
It lasts about a bit over a month.
Well, actually, I met my girlfriend just before Burgos, and we walked to Santo Domingo.
Now, what a personal journey is that? I mean, going there single and coming back with a girlfriend. I see this book, that it's a booklet that sort of gives you your passage, sort of. So every day, you know what you're going to encounter, and are there accommodations that you sort of stop at, and they already have a reservation for you, or you just have to go, and if you're lucky enough to find an accommodation, you're lucky enough.
Yes.
Well, look, some people book everything, but we decided that we wanted an adventure. So we would walk every day, and then at night, you know, about 3 or 4 o'clock, we would start looking for an albergue or a place to stay for the
somewhere
night.
to sleep. Yep. Because there's days where the track is good and you can walk 30 kilometres, and there's other days where the track is a little bit harder and you might walk 20 kilometres, so you don't know how far you're going to walk that day.
When you talk to people, there are 3 parts to the journey. The first is like a physical part, which is, you know, climbing that mountain, you know, carrying the backpack, you know, 9-10 kilos worth.
And your feet start to hurt, and blisters.
Everyone's talking about their blisters and sore feet and sore knees.
And everyone's got enemies and ideas and
so you hear,
all things that you do.
So a lot of people say that's like the first third of the journey is the physical. You're broken, your body is wrecked from all the walking and the lack of sleep, people snoring in the albergues, you know, you're not sleeping well. You're having very basic food a lot of the time. And then the next part is is like the emotional. You're walking and you're thinking, why am I doing this? Should we finish it now? Should we catch the bus? Shall we catch a taxi? You know.
That's right.
And then you get over that. And then the last third is like a real spiritual journey. So you feel like you don't want it to end. You're just walking and you almost want to walk alone and not talk to anyone anymore. You're just enjoying
Yourself.
the spirituality of the trip.
For our viewers who have sort of pressed on in years but would like to experience this walk, the Camino de Santiago de Compostela, are there buses that sort of can run from one sort of checkpoint, should we call it checkpoint, to another, where the older pilgrims can actually catch that bus?
Yes, yep. There's lots of transport. And there's also donkeys. You could do it with a donkey. Hire a donkey.
Now, for our viewers who are sort of thinking, oh, this might be interesting, a journey of self-discovery, would you recommend it to yourselves as a couple? Would you recommend it to other couples?
Oh, definitely.
I think it would be very good. You know, people asked us, how did you go together? Did you fight? Or, you know, but we actually didn't walk together.
Yes.
We would take off in the morning and often I would walk ahead maybe a kilometre and Carmen would walk behind. And because if you walk together, you don't meet other people.
That's right.
But when you're walking on your own, people tend to talk to you. And then, usually at lunchtime and then in the evening, we'd catch up together and talk about who we'd met and, and then we'd gather, they'd have a pilgrim meal every night.
Matthew, you came out of this experience not only on a journey of self-discovery, but you've also encountered your girlfriend, as you said. Do you think that having met someone on such a great, experience strengthens the way you got to know each other and for your future?
Oh, absolutely. I found it was a lot different to other relationships because you had no technology stand in the way. I didn't have her friends stand in the way because it was just the two of us, and we just walked for over a week and just talked, and I feel like it's a lot more wholesome than traditionally how it goes.